And welcome to Flexible Games, where we are going to take a peek at how to edit the 7 Days to Die config XMLs. So you will find these in the default installation under your C drive, program files, x86, Steam, Steam apps, common, 7 Days to Die, data, config. All of the XMLs in here can be edited and will be reflected next time you load the game. Now, to edit something like blocks, you can open up the blocks XML in whatever word processor you like, whether it's Notepad. Here I'm using Notepad++. You could also use WordPad or whatever you like that edit text files. Now, with these, you can edit all of the different materials. So here I show stone. When you harvest it, you get 50. Destroy it, you get another 50. It's just a way that I edit these files to take away some of the grind, so I don't have to spend so much time in between episodes mining materials. I've actually got a little bit more for every single time. Now there's a lot of stuff in here that you can edit. All of the blocks in the game are in here, so you can edit things like how many mechanical parts you get. You can do searches on mechanical parts. So there's mechanical parts. You can edit when you harvest them. This tool category disassemble, this is when you use the wrench on something. So mechanical parts, I get 5, but only a probability of 10%. So this kind of, you could set this to just probability equals 1 and you're guaranteed to get 5. So you can just go down the list and, change all of that from disassembly. So all of the blocks in the game are in here. Also, all of the upgrade paths for all the blocks are in here as well. So that's just one XML. You can go to many of these items, many of these files, and change pretty much every aspect of the game. So here are the items. Now these are the things in the game that you can't really place in the world, but you can still use. So these things are like all of the guns in the game, all of the food in the game, and basically items that aren't blocks that you place, or terrain, which are essentially blocks. But all of these things are counted as items. So you can go through all of the clothing, change all of the clothing if you want, or do what I did and go through the food and sort of rebalance the food to represent a little bit more of how filling each food item is. Other areas that you may want to edit is the progression actually modifies the skill points and all of the values when you either level up manually or artificially give you these skill levels, and what actually things are modified for every skill perk that you buy. So here's Knife Guy. This modifies entity damage and stamina degradation, and there are obviously 5 levels of this perk. One of the things that I've done is go through the smithing, and with Alpha 15 they actually changed weapon smithing and tool smithing to not actually max out at 5 or 600. So I've actually changed this so you can max once it's all the way up to 100. You can actually craft something level 600. So you get a little bit more of a reward for leveling something up. And the other thing that I did is I added, if you go to the miner, let's see if I can find it, miner 69er, I actually added, there it is. This is normally only 5 levels deep, but I actually changed this to max level 10, and then I specified all of these to go up after 5. So I just added, these lines here, increase the variables likewise, and added these here. So that's the progression levels. Entity classes, these actually change the zombies that spawn. So if you go to this zombie 01, you can see that I have edited the max health of this zombie 01. And now you can go down the line for all the zombies. Some of them actually refer to previous versions. So Zombie Joe actually extends Zombie 01. So it will inherit all of the stuff from Zombie 01, including their max health, unless it is overridden down here. So you can change all of the variables, speed, everything. So if you look for a dog, you can actually change the speed of the dog. So you can approach speed and night approach speed. You can actually lower the speed of the dog if you wish to do that. So pretty much everything in the game can be done that way. Now, some people were asking about the Weed Cleaver. You have to make two changes. One is in items, and I will post the code in a text file that's downloadable. But here is the item of the Weed Cleaver. It's essentially a machete that has a very short delay, 0.2 delay, and the block damage is on plants. So you can see damage plants and leaves. And it also uses only 1 stamina. Now the other file that you have to change is under recipes. So I just append this onto the bottom. So here's the Weed Cleaver recipe, which is a simple set that's just 4 forged iron and 3 wood. And obviously you can make that whatever you want. The last item is the localization file. Will actually tell you exactly what the Weed Cleaver is. So I just added these 2 lines to the end of the localization file, and it is essentially included in the game without any problems. So that is the Weed Cleaver adding to the game. Now, all of these other XMLs, obviously you can change. Biomes is a good one if you want to change the resource distribution. So each one of these has sub-biomes that have low probability, or the basic main biome, which is this star right here, tells you not specific layers. They recently changed all of that as well. But in this biomes XML is also the temperature and cloud thickness and precipitation. All of these things are also included in the biomes XML. You just have to make sure with all of these probabilities. So if you have cloud thicknesses, all of these probabilities combined with any specific set have to equal 1. So you can see cloud thickness, this is 0.5 plus 0.3 plus 0.2, that equals 1. So it has to equal 1. So you can set these values however you want, and set the temperatures and all that stuff within the biomes XML. So that is the rundown of the XML file structure and some of the things that you can edit in this system to enhance your game or tweak the game however you want to play. If you run into problems, go to the forums or just play around with the XMLs further to see if you can't solve it or figure out what happens. So I hope that helps a lot of players in customizing their game to however they want to play, to get some more enjoyment out of there. It's kind of the purpose of being flexible with your game. Also note that whenever they release a new version, all of your XML changes may be lost. So keep track of what you change and what files you change so you can quickly go back and re-edit the XMLs to put your changes back in. So just keep in mind that those changes may be lost if they update to a new version and you have auto update enabled. So I thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.